So hopefully when you get this video, it'll be New Year's, and a thought comes to mind. What are some of your New Year's resolutions? Why they fail? In many cases, not all, but in many cases. And do you know how to make ones that will succeed? Well, this video is about that. We're going to talk about making well-formed outcomes. There are certain ways to make goals, and those goals are made the SMART: specific, achievable, realistic, and timely. But there is an even smarter, though somewhat more complex, way of doing it. Okay? And that is called well-formed outcomes. Now, well-formed outcomes are a way of making a goal something that you can achieve, that you know when you have achieved it, and that you can make sure is good for you to achieve. Because not all goals are good. Some goals can be downright nasty. So we're going to talk about well-formed outcomes. And here's the basic outline. And this is according to the Rex Sykes Ultimate NLP Home Study course. Now, NLP is Neuro-Linguistic Programming. That basically means it is the way that communication affects your mind and body through how it functions. Now, the first thing you have to do is state your goals in the positive. What you do want, not what you don't want. Because the brain deletes negatives automatically. Oh yeah, you can understand negatives if you think about it consciously, but the brain deletes negatives unconsciously. Here's an example. Don't think of a purple elephant. That's a pretty classic example. And my guess is, if you're anything like me, you automatically thought of a purple elephant. Why? Because you need to think of what you're not supposed to think of, so you know what to not think about. Because your brain does not, here we go with that convenience of language, does not process negatives well. Second step, you must be able to represent it to yourself by way of the 5 senses. See, hear, smell, taste, feel. Or if you want to get into technical jargon, visual, auditory, olfactory, gustatory, and kinesthetic. Where do you feel it? When? Where do you want it? When and with whom? The third step, you must be able to start or initiate your action independently and be able to carry it out independently. It's what you can do and not what others can do for you that counts. How will you start it and how will you carry it through to the end result? And fourth, the goal you are attempting to attain does not interfere in any negative ways with your natural life, state, and that of others. Is there anything that you would have to give up or sacrifice when you make the change? How will you and others around you be affected? Now, there are some good sub-questions to ask about this goal. What will this goal do for me? What prevents me from having it right now? Is this realistic? Is this goal a manageable size or is it too large for a first step? What steps do I need to take in order to get to this goal? What resources do I have available to me right now to assist me in getting this goal? Think about 5 times when you were successful and see what you did. What did you say to yourself? What were you doing? How did you look, sound, and move? And feel how good it feels to be resourceful. When you found some powerful times, move them closer, make them brighter and in full color to intensify those experiences for yourself. When I have my goal, what will I be seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and feeling that will let me know that I have it? What will happen if you make the change that's both good and bad? What could, if it were to go wrong? Who else will this goal affect? Are there any possible negative consequences? Is there anyone who might possibly object to you making this goal or having this goal? When and where do you want this change? It's very important to specify time and context. What is going to happen when you make this change? What is not going to happen when you make this change? What would happen if you didn't make this change? Or the consequences of not making the change? What would not happen if you didn't make this change? And you need the sensory evidence to know whether you are on or off target in getting your goal. And most importantly, you must do what is necessary to get your goal. Action is the most important step. You must make your plan and then do the plan. Each step along the way must be small enough to be able to accomplish easily and yet large enough to be motivating. What will having this do for me? This question can provide the motivating factor. And finally, is it testable and measurable? You need a way to know when you're getting close to your goals and when you have arrived and when to stop. How will you know when you have accomplished your goal? For me, you can tell by the way I look. My goal is to lose, and I have a lot of it to lose. So let's go through these questions and see what I come up with. Positive. I want to get healthy. Now you notice I didn't say lose weight. And here's why. That's a negative. That's like saying I want to not gain weight. My mind's going to interpret that as I want to gain weight. I could also say I want to get to a healthy weight. Now, how will I know? What will I see? Well, I'll see no more double and triple chins, no more Buddha belly, no more rolls of fat, so to speak. What will I hear? My footsteps will be lighter. My voice will probably sound the same. I don't know. What will I taste? Maybe I'll taste healthy food. Vegetables and fruits. Maybe a well-cooked piece of meat. Very little carbs. What will I smell? Well, hopefully I'll smell something nice. Like, again, healthy food. But on the other hand, I might smell myself as I sweat, through exercise. And what will I feel? Well, I'll feel lighter. I'll feel less stress on my bones, on my joints, my back. I'll feel less winded when I run. Yes, I do run sometimes. I will feel less bloating. These are all things that I will feel. Where do I feel it? Hopefully all over my body. Where do I want it? When and with whom? I want it here in my body over the next year and with family and friends, as well as myself. Can I start or initiate it independently and carry it out independently? Yes, I can. I can eat less carbs. I can eat more nutrient-rich food. I can exercise more often. And I can take my medicine. A major factor in my weight gain has been my medicine. And fortunately, the doctors prescribed me another medicine that should help to make sure that I don't gain more weight because of the medicine, and that I have a chance to lose the weight that I have. How will I start it? Well, I just mentioned that. I will eat less, as in smaller portions. I will eat less carbs, of course, which of course means less junk food. I will exercise more, and I will carry that through to the end result. My goal is to get to 200 pounds, preferably by the end of the year. And that, by the way, is an example of making it specific. Will this interfere in any negative ways with my natural life state and that of others? No, I don't think so. In fact, it'll interfere in a positive way. I'll be healthier, I'll be able to help my family more, and I'll be able to do more in my own life. Is there anything I'd have to give up or sacrifice when making this change? Maybe certain types of food or a more sedentary lifestyle. How will myself and others be affected? Hopefully, they will be happy for me losing the weight, and I'll be able to do more for them. What will having this goal do for me? It will get me healthy. What prevents me from having it right now? Poor diet, sedentary lifestyle, which is a result of depression, complications with my mental illness, other things like that, and my medicine. Is this realistic? I believe it is, and hopefully I'll be able to prove it. Is it a manageable size or too large for a first step? Well, my first step is to start eating in a more healthy manner, cutting down my portions and eating fewer carbs, and exercising more. Maybe going on more walks, maybe doing more calisthenics. I believe that is a good first step. And those are the steps I need in order to get to this goal. The resources I have available to me right now are that I cook my own food for dinner. Well, I cook my own food throughout the day. I don't buy my own food, but I do cook my own food. And I have a city block I can walk around, and I have space in my room to do certain exercises. Thinking about 5 times I was successful, and I can think of 5 times when I have lost weight. I said to myself that I would do it no matter what it takes. And yes, that is acceptable. You'll find that some of these rules are useful lies, as Tony Robbins, I think, puts it, and as one of my teachers put it. What was I doing? Eating fewer carbs, exercising more, sound and move with more energy and more motivation. And I'm moving them closer, making them brighter and in full color. And I'm feeling optimistic. When I have my goal, I've already explained what I'll be seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and feeling. What would happen that would be good? I'd be healthier and more attractive. And with the world being in a more dangerous way, I'd be more capable of self-defense and defending those I love. What would happen that would be bad? Well, a lot more of my time would be taken up helping other people, but that's not really a bad thing. That's what I live for, really. What could, if it were to go wrong? I could take it to extremes and end up starving myself or overexerting myself, which could be bad for my health. Who else will this goal affect? I believe it will affect my family and my friends. There are no possible negative consequences, and I don't think anybody would object. I think my family would be supportive, although my father might try to convince me to cheat on my diet. When and where do I want this change? Now, there are two different ways to do this. You can specify a change at a certain time, and you can specify a change by a certain time. So I'm going to specify this change. I don't know where we'll be living because we're moving soon. I don't know where we'll be living, but I can tell you that it will hopefully be throughout the time I'm here and wherever I'm living at the time, and by the end of next year. What is going to happen when I make this change? Well, I'll get healthy, I'll get stronger and faster, I'll get better balance and coordination, I'll look better, and I'll feel better. What is not going to happen? Hopefully what's not going to happen is that I'll get sick, or that I will lose motivation and gain more weight. What's going to happen if I don't make this change? I will either stay at the weight I am now, which is about 325 pounds, not healthy for a 6-foot-tall male, or I will gain weight and I will get sicker. What is not going to happen if I don't make this change? I won't get healthier. I won't look better. I won't feel better. What will having this do for me? Honestly, it will change my life. And is it testable and measurable? Yes, it is. This may be one of the most testable and measurable goals there is. I can weigh myself every week and watch the pounds drop off. I can test myself by pushing myself just a little bit harder during exercises and pushing faster during my walks. And that will help me to know that I am getting physically better, physically stronger and faster. And when will I stop? Well, I won't really stop, but I will sort of back off a little bit when I reach 200 pounds. By that I mean I'll be eating at a deficit of calories up until then. Once I reach 200 pounds, I'll be eating at 2,000 calories once again. And I will be exercising pretty much at a plateau, I think. Although I might continue to push myself to keep my strength building up. After all, I'm going to be 40 this next year. And when you hit 40, you hit a plateau in your physical prowess. And for a lot of people, it all goes downhill. Not for Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne maintained his health well into his 90s. And at the very least, I'll be able to maintain my health well into my 90s. That is, unless the Lord calls us home before then. Anyway, that's an example of how to make a goal. And I hope you guys all make your goals in that way too. And if that's a little bit too much for you to remember, there is the SMART anagram. And that can be easier for you to remember. And that is, once again, specific, measurable, achievable, and timely. Of course, you got to work ecology with that as well. You know, that's all part of systems thinking as well. You got to figure out what these changes will affect in the system of yourself, your family and friends, your home, your work, your co-workers and bosses and employees, your neighborhood, your neighbors, your city, your state or province, your county, of course, your state or province, your country, your continent, your hemisphere, the world. And if you really want to get out there and wild with it, the solar system, the galaxy, the sector, the quadrant, the whole universe, or all of existence even. Because you can go that far. And while you will see diminishing effects, there will still always be effects. But really, you only have to think about what the people around you and the places around you and the things around you will be, how those will be affected. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this video, and I hope to share more about neuro-linguistic programming with you in the future.